Okay, so we're going to talk about objective number 5. Compare negative negative or positive to negative numbers. So the reason this number line is here is just remember, anytime the number is to the left, that's less. So like negative 2 is less than negative 1, or negative 2 is less than positive 3. So when we go down here and says circle the bigger number, 5 or 2, what's the bigger number? Well, it's 5. That's easy. Negative 1 or positive 1? Well, bigger is going to be positive 1. Reason is positive 1 is right here. So like negative 1 would be here. So positive 1's bigger. Now when it comes to two negative numbers, so right here, when it comes to two negative numbers, the number closer to 0 is always bigger. Or you can think of the number on the right. So it just gives you two ways to think about it. So let's say negative 4 and negative 2. So here's negative 4 and here's negative 2. When you got two negative numbers, the one that is closer to the 0 is the bigger number. So this one wins, this one loses. So negative 2. Closer to 0 or whichever one's furthest right. That's how you're going to know what the biggest is. And last one here is negative 1 or negative 1. Well, if they're the same, then this one is just goofy. You can't be bigger. So negative 1, negative 1. That's kind of a trick question. Think of this as an alligator, which you probably learned in middle school, and eat the bigger number. So between 6 and 3, hey, if you had 6 cookies or 3 cookies, I would take the one that has the 6. Between negative 7 and 2, if you think of our number line, 2 is obviously bigger, so we want to eat the 2. Now here you have two negative numbers, and it might look like negative 9 is bigger. But remember, on a number line, if here's 0, negative 2 is like here, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Negative 9 is way over there. So the one to the right, or the one closer to 0, is actually the bigger one, if you remember the number line at the top. So you don't want to eat negative 9. Between two negatives, eat negative 2. If they're both negative, think the one closer to 0, or the one that would be on the right, or the further right on the number line, that wins. Same with this. Negative 27 and negative 56. Now if I had a number line, I'm not drawing any 56 tick marks. I'm just going to say 1, 2, skip a few, negative 27, negative 28, negative 29, I don't care. Somewhere the heck over here is negative 56. So if you look at it, which one is closer to 0? This one. Which one is more to the right? This one. So if you're going to eat 2 or eat one of the two, you better eat that one. That one is bigger. The inequality sign will eat the bigger number. Yeah, that's helpful. But as you get into like 8th grade or 9th grade or 10th grade, you need to know a little bit more than just eat the bigger number. You need to know what all these math signs mean. Starting with this. Everybody should know when you see that sign, that's the equal sign, right? Equals. Like that, equals, right? So when you have an equal sign, you could say like 5 equals 5. Well, that might sound silly. 5 equals like 2 plus 3, right? This is equal to that. That's what equals means. But what if things aren't equal? If things aren't equal, then one thing is bigger than the other. Now this one is the less than sign. And here's a helpful hint. Think of it like an arrow that points left. And if it points left, it means less. So this is the less than sign. It's like an arrow pointing left. Okay? So this means less than. An example of less than, 5 is less than 9. So that would be good. And that seems easy. It's kind of confusing when you get down here. Negative 5 would be less than negative 2. Remember? It's more left of it, so that would be something right there. This one still points left, right? So like if I'm looking at that, that still points left, but it has this line under it. So if it's like that, it's a combination of less than and equals. And so we say less than or equal to. Less than or equal to. And that one's going to be important at some point soon. Less than or equal to. Now this one points right. So if you're thinking, okay, less than points left, then if it points right, it's not pointing left, so it must be greater than. Greater than. An example of greater than, 5 is greater than 2. Or if you're talking about two negatives, negative 5 is greater than, well, you better say something like negative 7. On the number line, negative 5 is greater than negative 7. Negative 5 is bigger than negative 7. Negative 5 is to the right of negative 7 on the number line. And then, of course, if it's pointing right and it has this, it's going to be greater than or equal to, or equal to, just like that. All right, greater than or equal to. All right, now let's look at these. Which of the following is true? So negative 17 and 9. All of these say, negative 17 and 9, 9, negative 8, negative 17, negative 8. Let's see. Is negative 17, what is that? Less than or greater than? That's greater than. Is negative 17 greater than 9? No. Negative numbers are never greater than positive numbers. Is 9 greater than negative 8? Yeah. Anything that's positive is going to be, so this better be false. Negative 17 greater than negative 8? Oh boy, that's tricky. But think, negative 17 is not greater than negative 8 because it's not. Here's 0, here's negative 8, and here's negative 17. Negative 17 is not to the right of. You want to be greater, you better be right of. All right, here we go. Next one, negative 4 greater than negative 2. No, negative numbers are never greater than positive numbers. How about this one? Is negative 7 less than 2? Is a negative number less than a positive number? Of course it is. Of course it is. Also remember, when you hear me saying less than, look, I'm looking at this like an arrow, and it points left. That's why I'm saying less. This one right here, what's that going to say? It's going to say less than. Is negative 4 less than negative 7? No, the answer is no. Negative 4 is not less than. It's not to the left of negative 7 on a number line. Right, negative 9 greater than negative 5. Well, 9 is greater than 5. But what about negative 9 and negative 5? Is it to the greater numbers or to the right? So is negative 9 to the right of negative 5? 0. Negative 5. Negative 9 to the right of negative 5? No. All right. This one says less than. Two negative numbers, less than. Is negative 9 less than negative 17? So is negative 9 left of negative 17? No. So this better be true. I'm going to go ahead and circle it, and then let's just hope. Is negative 17 less than negative 5? That means is negative 17 on a number line. Here's 0. Here's negative 5. And then 1, 2, skip a few. Here's negative 17. So is negative 17 less than negative 5? Well, if it's left of negative 5, then yes, it is less than. Always think about the number line. Things farther left are less. Things to the right are more. It can be confusing with two negatives, but that covers it. Negative 9 is greater than negative 8. Negative 7 is less than 2. And negative 17 is less than negative 5. Biggest thing you want to remember is anytime that you point left, whether you point left like this or like this, it means you say in the English language, you say less than. You have to get, when I throw one of these out here, you better maybe spell then, right? But less than, right? If it points left, it's less than. And if it points right, it is greater than. All right, that sums up objective number 5.